This quarterback carousel, man, it's spinning so fast I'm getting dizzy. You think it's finally slowing down and bam, another huge move. Russell Wilson, the New York Giants. Who saw that coming?
Yeah, I know, right? Talk about a shakeup. It's a move with tons of implications, short term, long term, for the Giants, for the rest of the league. Definitely something worth taking a deep dive on. We've got the reports right here, and they're painting a picture of, well, the Giants taking a big swing, that's for sure.
Big swing, for sure. Okay, so let's break it down. Wilson to the Giants, what do we know about the actual deal?
So, one-year contract, up to $21 million, $10.5 million guaranteed. What's interesting, though, is Wilson chose the Giants. They weren't his only option. Reports say he had offers from Pittsburgh and Cleveland, too. Something about New York must really appeal to him.
I mean, he did win a Super Bowl there with Seattle, right? Back in, what was it, 2014, MetLife Stadium. It's going to count for something.
Oh, absolutely. Familiarity, I think that's huge for a quarterback, especially when you're going into a new situation. And you look at the Giants quarterback room right now, and it's an interesting mix. You've got Wilson, the presumed starter, and then Jameis Winston, solid backup. They signed him to a 2-year deal. And then there's Tommy DeVito.
It's a pretty veteran group, you're right. But they still have that no 3 pick in the draft. That's got to be on everyone's mind. They wouldn't be making this move if they saw Wilson as the long-term solution, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. This move, it buys them time,
Yeah.
It raises the floor of the offense, brings in that experience, but it doesn't lock them in. They can still draft their quarterback of the future at no 3 if that's what they want to do.
And this signing, it's got ripple effects around the league too, right? I'm thinking specifically about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It basically takes the Giants out of the running for Rodgers, right? Which narrows down his options, potentially makes things a little clearer. And, now that Wilson's out in Pittsburgh, the Steelers suddenly become a much more interesting landing spot for Rodgers. It's like this quarterback domino effect.
It's wild. Okay, let's talk about Wilson himself. Let's talk about his recent performance. He was in Pittsburgh last year. How did that season go for him?
He took over as the starter in Week 7, and he had a really promising start. 6-1, I think it was, in his first 7 games. But things cooled off a bit. He finished the season with 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, so decent ratio there. Completion percentage was 63.7, respectable, but 33 sacks, that's a number that jumps out at you.
Yeah, I mean, 33 sacks, that tells me he was under pressure a lot, which, that follows his, 2 years in Denver? And that was a rough couple of years, right? The Broncos paid a lot of money for him, and it just didn't pan out.
Yeah, 11-19 in Denver, despite, all the talent they had around him. So yeah, Wilson, he's had a great career track record, over 46,000 passing yards, 350 touchdowns. But his recent performance, well, it raises some questions, that's for sure.
And that's got to be the big question for everyone listening, right? Can Russell Wilson rediscover his old form in New York?
Yeah.
Are we going to see the Wilson from Seattle? Or, is this it? And how do the Giants balance their goals for this season with that high draft pick looming over them?
Exactly. Can the Giants coaching staff figure out something, some way to unlock Wilson's potential, something that Pittsburgh and Denver couldn't? And what if they draft a quarterback at number 3? How do you manage a rookie quarterback and a veteran who's only on a 1-year deal? It's a tricky situation.
So much to think about. All right, key takeaways here. Wilson, he gives the Giants a quarterback. Right now, that's a good thing, right? They've got experience, but it's not a long-term solution, not necessarily. That no NT3 pick, that's still huge. And this move, I mean, it's shaken up the whole quarterback landscape, that's for sure.
Absolutely. High stakes, short-term commitment for the Giants, big implications for them, big implications for the league. It's going to be interesting to watch this all play out.
All right, here's something for everyone to ponder. What does a successful season even look like for Russell Wilson in New York? Are we talking playoffs? Are we talking stats? And how do the Giants weigh those short-term wins against the need to find their quarterback of the future? It's a tough balancing act, that's for sure.